This is the GIS News for Thursday, September 26th, 2024. I am Rakisha St. Louis. In the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell makes appeal for Cuba and Haiti at OAS meeting, and 50 poultry producers to receive support on the World Bank-funded Food Security Enhancement Project. We'll have details to these stories and more when we return.
Are you a member of a youth-led organization in Grenada?
Are you ready to take your community, youth, or sports organization to the next level? Then this video is for you.
Community-based organizations are the backbone of our communities and parishes. They nurture our future leaders, preserve the heritage of Grenada, and enrich our social fabric.
Sadly, there has been a significant decrease in the number of community youth-led and other organizations in our communities.
Additionally, the existing organizations often face several challenges that hinder them from achieving their goals.
That is why the Division of Youth has designed two-day workshops designed exclusively for executive members of community youth-led organizations or other youth leaders in Grenada.
These workshops will focus on building the capacity of organizations by enhancing their leadership skills, planning and execution, mobilization, financial management, and monitoring and evaluation.
But wait, there's more. The Ministry of Youth is excited to introduce the Community Grant Fund, a fantastic opportunity for organizations to access additional resources to help with their community development initiative.
The workshops will take place on October 12th and 13th at the Grenada Youth and Cultural Center, St. George, and November 9th and 10th at the St. Martin Retreat Center, Mount St. Albans, St. Andrew. For more information, please visit our Facebook page at the Ministry of Youth and Sports and follow us on Instagram at MOYGND473. Youth leaders, community groups, take this opportunity. Don't miss out on it. See you there.
Welcome back. Grenada has reiterated its call for the immediate lifting of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade against the Republic of Cuba. During his message to the protocolary session of the Permanent Council of the Organization of American States, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell said this unjust measure continues to inflict untold hardships on the Cuban people. He is concerned that the decades-old embargo is stifling the economic growth of the people of Cuba and undermining their right to development.
Despite Cuba's exclusion from the OAS, its solidarity with our region, particularly through healthcare and education initiatives, demonstrates its commitment to the values we cherish in the Americas: mutual respect, cooperation, and human dignity. Grenada stands firmly with those among our Caribbean and Latin American neighbors calling for an end to this blockade, which is not only a relic of the past, but one of the key impediments to the unity and progress we seek in our hemisphere. Additionally, we firmly advocate for the removal of Cuba from the list of alleged state sponsors of terrorism. The designation is not only unjust, but it is also counterproductive to the regional goals of peace, development, and cooperation, which are so critical at these times.
With regard to the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Haiti, which is experiencing delays in its upcoming elections, Prime Minister Mitchell appealed to the international community to hasten with humanitarian aid and also reinforce the needed logistical and asset support for the Haitian people and their government during this critical transition. Haiti continues to face a myriad of challenges, including poverty, food insecurity, and cholera outbreak and gender-based violence.
Despite these challenges, we have no alternative but to hold hope that Haiti will eventually return to normalcy and stability. The Caribbean community, through its eminent persons group, the EPG, continues to work closely with Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council to support their efforts in rebuilding key institutions like the Provisional Electoral Council and addressing the urgent security concerns. Excellencies, there is a lot to be done. And we recognize that Haiti's police force and the international support missions are under-equipped and severely under-resourced to fully stabilize and reclaim the territory controlled by the gangs. The Kenyan-led multinational security support mission, which we welcome, and while a critical intervention, requires more personnel and resources to ensure that the security situation is stabilized.
Grenada continues to chart the course to recovery post-Hurricane Beryl. On Thursday, the Ministry of Economic Development, Planning and Cooperatives received the sectoral reports following the post-disaster needs assessment supported by the United Nations, the European Union, and the World Bank. The assessment is expected to highlight the total amount needed to implement a recovery needs strategy. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Development, Marina Jessamy, says by mid-October, all reports should be approved and completed for the implementation phase. The assessment focused on all areas devastated by the July 1st hurricane.
Today we are here discussing the post-disaster needs assessment that was conducted through the Ministry of Economic Development, Planning and Cooperatives as part of the passage of Hurricane Beryl. This assessment was made available and supported by the United Nations Development System, led by the UNDP, as well as the World Bank and the European Union. Today we are here to receive the sectoral reports, which covers both the social sectors and the productive sectors. As an example, the social sectors includes the health sector, the housing sector, and also we had discussions in terms of the productive sectors of agriculture, the water sector, the wash sector, led by NAWASA, and we also had discussions on cross-cutting issues such as disaster risk management, and that team was led by the NATMA. Following this presentation, we will complete the report and submit to the government, and that will give us the total amount that is needed for the loss and damage calculation so that we can really implement a recovery needs strategy and rebuilding for the state of Grenada. The hurricane affected more so the northern part of Grenada, St. Patrick, and so the report will include other parishes as St. John, St. Mark, but the focus is on the areas that were heavily impacted. For example, the northern part, including Carriacou and Petit Matnik.
These sectoral reports came from NAWASA, Agriculture, Education, Disaster Management, and Housing.
We presented here today on the wash sector as part of the PDNA for Grenada post-Beryl. We discussed some of the effects on the water sector in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Matnik, particularly the vulnerabilities of our surface water treatment plants to the impacts of hurricanes and floods, as well as the impacts that we would have experienced post-Beryl from the storm surge on our desalination plants in Carriacou and Petit Matnik. Also presented in regards to solid waste management and the solid waste, how that aspect of the recovery efforts was affected post-Beryl, the amount of debris and so forth generated by the hurricane had to be disposed of, collected and disposed of by the Grenada Solid Waste Management Agency.
We have looked at the present situation in Carriacou and PT Martinique with regards to the potential of returning our schools to full operations. As present, we have 6 pre-primary schools in carriacou, 6 primary, 3 secondary, and 1 tertiary, which being TAMCC Center. We have looked at the effects of the hurricane on those infrastructure as well as the education delivery in carriacou, the impact. And the impact ranges from not being able to open school the regular time, some students having to be displaced, the cost of materials that have been destroyed by the hurricane and so on. So today we presented that report for analysis, and in the future we'll get an idea as to what needs to be done in terms of recovery.
We looked at some of the strengths and the weaknesses that existed in response to Hurricane Beryl on July 1st, and then we looked at some of the costs, some of the damage that as it relates to the buildings, the equipment, structures, and we also looked at some of the loss or probably some of the costs related to the relief, transportation, and one of the major areas that we looked at was the transportation among the islands by using boats, and that was a major challenge and a major cost for the government, because you had to ensure that you have relief going from or among the islands Grenada, carriacou, and PT Martinique, and not having airlift. So there was no airlift among the islands. So significantly, you had to depend on boats to carry the goods, and that's a significant cost. So disaster risk reduction, we have to look at areas where we can enhance our coordination, enhance training for our volunteers and staff of the National Disaster Management Agency throughout the islands, and also look at institutional strengthening to ensure that the agency has adequate equipment, adequate transport, adequate buildings, and be able to service like the shelters, so that people can go to the shelters and ensure that they are properly accommodated. So a number of areas that we need to look at.
Her Excellency Theodora Magdalena Macia, Romanian Ambassador to Grenada, presented her credentials to Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade on Thursday. Romania and Grenada established diplomatic relations in 1975. In 2005, Romania implemented concrete actions to tackle climate change, such as the development of the National Strategy and Action Plan on Climate Change. It has started the implementation of the EU Emissions Trading Scheme, as well as other climate change-related actions promoted by the European Union. Based on the first national strategy on climate change, Romania is taking important steps towards a targeted and coordinated national effort to meet the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change commitments. The ambassador pledged to be a constant advocate for climate change, not only on the regional level, but internationally.
It's an honor to represent Romania before the authorities of Grenada and to contribute to the development of our bilateral relations. The priority of my mandate is to consolidate the political and diplomatic dialogue and to make an agenda of bilateral contacts that offer weight and gives a new dynamic to the relation. We are very satisfied with the progress made in the recent years in relation with the Caribbean states, and therefore I want to reiterate Romania's commitments to the Caribbean, renewed in various occasions by our President, Mr. Klaus Iohannis, and recently during his meeting with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and Grenadines in the margin of CELAC summit, EU summit. Also, I want to ensure you of our availability to remain a friend of the Caribbean region within the EU, to promote message of interest within the EU, and to contribute to the deepening of the EU-Caribbean partnership. We know the importance for the SEEDS country when it comes to fighting climate change, and I want to tell you that in this field Romania is very active not only at EU level but also in the multilateral fora.
She outlined some of the areas of support for Grenada moving forward.
We will be able to strengthen our cooperation in areas of mutual interest, such as higher education, professional training, risk reduction, cybersecurity, climate change, natural disaster management, green energy, as well as the framework of the EU-Caribbean relation and in the international arena. Thank you very much.
Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecilia Grenada commended Romania on its efforts over the years to support Caribbean countries in key sectors. Grenada looks forward to deepening relations and strengthening ties with Romania.
Romania has increasingly shown interest in strengthening relations with the Global South, including Caribbean nations. In this regard, a memorandum of understanding was signed between Romania and CARICOM for the establishment of a consultation and cooperation mechanism in 2019. Additionally, Romania indirectly interacts with CARICOM countries through the EU CARIFORUM cooperation programs, trade agreements, and climate resilience initiatives. Romania also supports various EU-led initiatives in the Caribbean focusing on development aid, environmental sustainability, and disaster management, which are of particular importance to the Caribbean region at this time, given the vulnerability of the Caribbean countries to natural disasters. Romania also supports scholarship programs, particularly for students from developing countries, which have the potential to benefit OECS nationals through EU-funded educational initiatives. Your Excellency, Grenada looks forward to collaboration with Romania, particularly in the areas related to climate change. Grenada will continue to work with Romania in areas of mutual concern as we work towards deepening the relationship between our two governments and peoples.
This is the GIS News. When we return, 50 poultry producers to receive support on the World Bank project. Welcome back. As part of efforts to increase local poultry production and consequently local consumption, 50 local poultry producers are scheduled to benefit from the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources World Bank's funded Food Security Enhancement Program. Ahead of the arrival of the breed stock, the ministry has prioritized the awareness and education of farmers, placing emphasis on brooding and post-hatch management. 2 batches of farmers were trained by poultry consultant Mr. Nugent Bernard and Ms. Olivia Ned Alexander on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Bernard says that given the realities of the poultry industry, this project can have significant benefits for Grenada.
The objective of this program is to see how we can revitalize, re-energize, and increase poultry meat production in Grenada, given the fact that we're spending, last time we spent was over $60 million plus on frozen imported chicken. All right? Now, you know that the frozen imported chicken is not the best thing for us to eat. And that's the reality. What it is, this chicken is healthier to eat or locally grown chicken. So government now is on a move to promote eating more local chicken, and that will do 2 things: ensure food nutrition security in terms of protein need, and to come back on foreign exchange. Because just imagine you're spending over $16-20 million US. You know how much that could do locally?
Farmers are scheduled to receive between 150 to 500 chicks, numbers that will be dependent on capacity of their farms along with feed to support their ventures. The training held on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week equips farmers with knowledge that helps them to reduce on mortality rates by employing proper brooding and post-hatch management techniques.
The session was very informative. I thought I knew a lot about chicks, but from the session, I realized the importance of the gut health in chicks. The environment in which you have your chicks also is important for good meat production. Well, it's a very good start because when it comes to financing for poultry farmers, it's very difficult to get financing. The cost of feed and also the cost of chicks is very expensive. So that World Bank venture would be very helpful to most of the farmers, so that it would be a good start. It's like a capital and input. So with that, you once it's managed properly, you could take off from there.
It is a good venture, but it has been rough. But I'm hanging in there, hoping that one day I could make a good impact, because I understand the benefit of the poultry industry, or the significance of the poultry industry. For years being in the poultry business, I think the initiative today is very encouraging, because as we see, we import a lot of chicken. And if we can find a way to sort of buffer that, it will help a lot, including helping the farmers to have a sustainable income, and also within the community. I think it's a very good initiative. What I thought, I think it's an excellent project. It's something that we should have had a long time, and especially now after Beryl, where you could literally see a shortage of local food stuff on the market. It will be something that could help to sort of restart the local industry, because I know it has been severely affected, and a lot of farmers are looking out for whatever assistance that they can get.
Day-old broiler chicks are expected to arrive in Grenada from Barbados in the first and last week of October and handed over to the poultry farmers. This initiative is one of the undertakings of Component 4 of the World Bank funded project, which prioritizes support for the livestock and poultry industry. The Junior Achievement Program hosted its kickoff on Wednesday at the Grenada Boys Secondary School. The theme for this year's Junior Achievement Program is 50 Years of Independence, the resuscitation to drive businesses to success. The event involved presentations on the history and reintroduction of junior achievement, the JA curriculum and milestones, benefits of joining Junior Achievement, and the prizes for teachers and students participating in the 2024 program. Brenda Bodie-John is the Managing Director of the Junior Achievement. She encouraged students to put their best efforts into the projects that can transform lives, and also thanked Chief Education Officer Dominic Jeremiah for supporting the program.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremiah, for being a tower of support, encouraging us to keep going, because like you students that will face challenges when you're developing your companies, we at Junior Achievement experience some challenges as well, but it always helps when we have great partners that are there to work with us through those challenges, so that we can make sure that we deliver to you a work of high quality and excellence.
Representatives from Ariza Credit Union and the Citizenship by Investment Program delivered remarks at the event.
We are absolutely delighted and thrilled to be part of such a wonderful program. One of the main goal of the credit union is to always invest in young people. And today, I think our presence here is a testimony to that. And apart from the financial contribution that we are going to make, we are also going to invest the resources of our staff and their talent, the skills, their experience. We're also going to commit. So 28 of our staff members will be mentors in this program. Okay? All right. Apart from that, we'll see along the way in terms of facilities, in terms of room space for holding meetings, whatever else we can contribute, we would make sure to have that conversation and certainly be part of that.
As this year's co-sponsor, our contribution goes beyond the dollars and cents, as Mr. Chetram would have specified. Ariza strongly believes that today's students are tomorrow's entrepreneurs. And that is indicative of the amount of investment time that we have invested in this program. In addition, you would have mentioned that our staff would be mentors. Now, each of the mentors is qualified, so I give you permission to harass them, bug them, ask them for their input, Obviously, they won't do the project for you, but make full use of it because the experience that they would have gained is very valuable. And I heard someone say thank you, so I know that's good. So, from a business perspective, what we are seeing today is more and more persons starting businesses, opting not to go into full-time employment, but starting their own business. Why? Because people want to be their own boss, right? So this can be a stepping stone to you being your own boss.
Take action. Ideas are just ideas until you act on them. Be proactive in bringing your innovative concepts to life. So for those of you who are thinking about starting your own business, know that this journey is about more than personal success. Every business you create contributes to the broader economy, providing jobs, fostering innovation, and improving our collective quality of life. The skills you develop here have global implications, or can have global implications. Entrepreneurship knows no boundaries. The innovations that start right here in Grenada and in the wider Caribbean can ripple out to impact industries around the world. You are part of a generation that has the opportunity to think and act globally, even from the shores of our little island, Grenada.
Chief Education Officer Dominic Jeremiah encouraged the students to make full use of the opportunity to develop and run a business, given that these skills are transferable as they get older.
I am extremely honored to be here at this kickoff ceremony for the JA program. I know how important the JA program has been, and I remember when Ms. Cambridge came to visit with me for the first time to begin to discuss the reactivation of the JA program in Grenada. I was extremely excited. As a matter of fact, I had just gotten to the Ministry of Education, and without blinking, I told her it's a go. And I'm very happy about this. This program has been the nursery for fostering entrepreneurship among our students for many years. Developing a business mindset, learning the skills of how to conceptualize, plan for, set up, manage, finance a business are all valuable skills that the GA movement and program has brought to our education system in Grenada.
Students were given a challenge which earned them points towards their project.
When you are developing your student companies, some tips to consider. Are you being socially inclusive? Now, right now, when I'm saying this, it might mean absolutely nothing to you, so you're going to have to go and figure out what it is. Because there are 1,000 extra points for student companies that are socially inclusive. Figure out what that means. There are also 2,000 points available to student companies that are circular. When you go to look it up, look for the definition of circular economies, figure out how that translates into the actions of your company. Every company that figures out that can earn 2,000 points. If you're socially inclusive and your business is circular, you have 3,000 points almost immediately. So I'm looking forward to great things coming out of Grenada.
I'm really looking forward to be a part of this program. I'm very excited and words cannot express the way how I really feel. I'm looking forward to going through every step. I know that there will be challenge and difficulties, but I'm willing to face them. And as I said, I just cannot express, but I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
What I'm most looking forward to is starting a business and knowing how to do it, as I want to be a professional entrepreneur when I grow.
I'm most looking forward to working on our project, getting our idea off the ground, and to just bring home the win for our school.
Finally, in the news, the Grenada Cultural Foundation is working on adding more events to the annual cultural calendar through collaboration with parish-based organizations. CEO of the foundation, Livingston Nelson, told GIS this year, prior to Spice Mass, consultations were held with mass bands to find ways the groups can be strengthened and preserved. Following these meetings, the Traditional Individual Mass Band Association was established. According to Nelson, as a result, this year, there was an increase in the number of traditional bands parading the streets and participating in competitions than in previous years.
This year, it was manifested that Spice Mass was able to have a display with more bands than ever, both in Victoria, where they have the traditional mass display, and also on the streets. Collaborate with SEDU to have a next traditional band display. And this time the focus was very, very clinical. We decided there must be no DJ on the street, no sound effect, nothing like that. So no trucks, people, so the Apache, the Jab, the Shotney, the Violin, and all the various bands were able to display in a very quarantine setting, devoid of any obstruction. This was our first time, and we are going to expand on that again.
Moving forward, the Cultural Foundation will be engaging more parish-based organizations year-round to increase activities and resuscitate dying traditions.
So we would not talk to, say, SPAD, St. Patrick's Organization for Development, only when it is the activity in March. We would be engaging them to be part of having activities for Christmas. And so the way forward is to have more engagement, more activity. We want to have something that is unique. For every time there is a celebration, you get something different, cultural, in all the various parish-based organizations. So we've been doing that.
This is the GIS News. When we return, we'll have the sports highlights with Leslie and Johnson.
Well, at this time of the year, we do expect rainfall events because we will be affected by systems such as tropical wave passing through. We will have the presence of the ITCZ in our area, and we might even have tropical cyclones, whether it's depression or storm. Okay? So what we would expect is we will have big rain events. Okay? No matter how dry or wet the season is, we are going to have big rain events. So therefore it is important for every household to have some bit of water stored, because these big rain events normally put us pressure on the water system. For example, we have landslides that we take away pipes. We might have heavy rainfall that would block the dams and so forth, and so your regular supply will be interrupted. So it is so important for every household to have the recommended 3 days storage of potable water in the household for such eventualities.
For climate change, what is Grenada going to experience? Going to experience water shortage. It's going to experience, particularly after storm hurricanes, the water system is going to break down, and you will need water in between. Rainwater harvesting could help. So rainwater harvesting is not only about getting water for drinking and for use. It is also about minimizing flooding and flood control.
If there's one thing we know for sure, life is an unpredictable journey, full of twists and turns, but no matter where it takes you, the National Insurance Scheme is here, ready to support you every step of the way. Sickness benefits ensures that you can focus on recovery, not financial stress. Maternity allowance and grant provides essential support to start your beautiful journey of parenthood. The unemployment benefits act as a safety net, giving you peace of mind during challenging times. Employment injuries can be daunting, but NIS provides comprehensive coverage, including injury benefit, medical expenses, disablement, and death benefits. At NIS, your well-being is priority. Now you can face challenges confidently, knowing that support is just a claim away. Contact us today to find out more about the range of benefits or visit our website at www.nisgrenada.org.
The Grenada Chess Federation is working to introduce the concept of chess in education in the country. Federation President Ruggles Ferguson says as far back as 2010, the International Chess Federation's foremost expert in chess, Leoncho Garcia of Spain, visited this country for 10 days to discuss the idea, meeting with principals and teachers. Mr. Ferguson met Mr. Garcia when he accompanied the Grenada chess team to the 45th Olympiad in Budapest, Hungary, and used the opportunity to request of him a program to run a pilot project for chess in education.
He has promised to send a draft program, including the cost, by the end of next week. And the idea is to use chess in education focuses not on competitive chess, but using chess as an educational tool to teach subjects in school, maths, whether science subjects, whatever subjects, to use it as a tool, as an educational tool in schools. And it's quite a fascinating subject. In some countries, chess is compulsory because of the benefits of chess. Chess is compulsory on the curriculum.
Mr. Ferguson is hoping that Grenada will see the benefits of the pilot project.
We really hope, both in the area of chess in education and in the area of competitive chess, we can move forward hand in hand to build chess in Grenada, introduce, and we have already begun speaking about it, the possibility of having an inter-secondary school chess competition possibly sometime in November next year. And in order to achieve that, we need to build the school structure.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Senator Seville Francis, commended the team of young people for their level of representation. She was speaking at their welcoming ceremony earlier this week.
The history that you created by just representing us, it is a milestone. It is something to place on record, and it's something that you don't take for granted. This year in particular is very significant to us here as we celebrate our 50th year of independence, and you have added to that history in a significant year like this. So again, congratulations and thank you for representing us to the best of your ability.
17-year-old Renelle Gilbert was accorded the prestigious title of FIDE Master, the third highest title in the game of chess, ranking behind International Master and Grandmaster and above Candidate Master. More than 2,000 players from 197 countries participated in the Olympiad. A report on the Grenada Football Association's website states that the head coach of the Grenada senior men's national team, Shalry Joseph, has been selected for induction to the St. John's University Hall of Fame in men's soccer in the United States. Joseph secured a pair of All Big East first team selections and a third team All-America honor, while helping St. John's to a 31-8-5 record, a 14-3-4 conference mark, and a Big East title during his tenure. In his 2000 appearance in the NCAA Division I tournament, Joseph scored 14 goals with 2 assists, having scored in 12 of the 19 matches played. He also copped the Frank G. Haggerty Memorial Award for Top Male Student Athlete following the academic year. Joseph had a 12-year professional playing career and spent the majority of it with the New England Revolution, where he earned 4 MLS Best 11 Player awards and was selected to 7 All-Star games. He finished his career with 40 goals and 34 assists in 283 appearances before transitioning into coaching. The induction ceremony will be held on Saturday, October 26, 2024. Finally, Guyana Amazon Warriors helped their chances of securing a top 2 finish in the 2024 Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League by inflicting a 47-run defeat on Barbados Royals. The Royals would have been hopeful for a top-of-the-table finish too, given their earlier form in the competition, but a third defeat for them in recent matches means they may have to settle for a third or fourth place and a harder path to the title. Royals captain Rovman Powell won the toss and opted to insert the opposition. The pitch was conducive to stroke play, and despite the early loss of R. Gobas, the Warriors cashed in, posting an imposing 219 for 8 of their 20 overs. David Miller offered some resistance in the Royals' middle order and played some audacious strokes at the back end to take him to a battling half-century. Scores in the match: Guyana Amazon Warriors 219 for 8 in the allotted 20 overs, and Barbados Royals 172 for 9 in 20 overs. That is the GI's Evening Sports. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Let's recap the top stories. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell makes appeal for Cuba and Haiti at OAS meeting. And 50 poultry producers to receive support on the World Bank-funded Food Security Enhancement Project. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports wrapped up its parish-level Youth Parliament sessions in May and June 2024, where passionate young leaders from across Grenada boldly voiced their concerns and offered insightful recommendations on pressing issues, from capital punishment and education reform to firearm amnesty. These 2024 Youth Parliamentarians demonstrated sharp research, eloquent delivery, and a readiness to lead. They embodied the vibrant future of Grenada, stepping confidently into the roles of tomorrow's decision makers. The Division of Youth is getting ready for the second phase of the National Youth Parliament Program 2024, the National Youth Elections. Here are your candidates who will be campaigning to become National Youth Parliamentarians. St. Andrew Southeast, Amanda Japal George and Kevon George. St. Andrew Southwest, Zadie Barry and Cameron Sensier. St. Andrew Northeast, Emerson Calist and Kerrian Marast. St. Andrew Northwest, Derricka Samuel and Joshua Andel. St. Patrick East, Asha McEwen Sylvester, Shanida Shade. St. Patrick West, Zinzi Noel and Sean Williams. St. Mark, Kiel Cyrus, Akim Phillip and Tiwana Scott. St. John, Sashona McVean and Elon James. St. David, Antonia Kutain and Tarek Miller. St. George Northeast, Kwesi Pope and Akim Williams. St. George Northwest, Jamal Mitchell and Angela Bowen. St. George South, Giovanna Mark and Jonathan Mitchell. St. George Southeast, Symphony Lord and Vonick Lewis. And the Tongue of St. George, Ray Meyer Griffin and Melissa Julian. The National Youth Parliamentarians will be enrolled into the program for 2 years, in which they will be engaged in continuous leadership training. They will participate in regular national youth parliamentary debates. They will receive mentorship and will have access to the Division of Youth and Sports Community Support Grant Fund to assist with their various community initiatives. Young people, the countdown is on for your voices to be heard as to who you will want represent your constituency in the National Youth Parliament. Mark the date, December 5th. To vote, you must meet the following criteria. Must be between the ages of 16 to 35. Must be a Grenadian national and must submit a copy of a valid identification card or document. Registration ends November 22nd. For more information, please contact the Ministry of Youth and Sports on 440-6917 or email ascoy@youth.gov.gd.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.